David's Log, Stardate, July 23rd, 2016. These are the voyages of David Jordeo's YouTube channel. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about Star Trek Beyond, the 13th Star Trek film in the Star Trek movie franchise. You know, there's been tons of TV shows as well, but these new ones recently, the last two and now this one, have been sort of a reboot, I guess. A reboot in the way of where one of the original characters from the original films went back in time, and now time has changed. So this is part of the new timeline, with Chris Pine now playing Captain Kirk and Zachary Quinto as Spock. And we also got Zoe Saldana as Uhura, Carl Urban as Bones. Who else do we have? We have Simon Pegg as Scotty, and the late Anton Yelchin as Chekhov. And man, you know, these guys in this movie are, you know, they're all perfectly cast. I remember when this franchise, this new reboot started, you know, the idea of replacing the original cast, for a lot of hardcore fans specifically, I'm guessing it was a really tough thing. Now, I haven't really watched the original series too much. I might have seen like 2 or 3 episodes here and there, but nothing that really grabbed my attention to make me want to watch the whole series of the original. The only Star Trek series I really watched was The Next Generation. That one, I watched all 7 seasons. I watched all the movies. I did watch all the original movies, though, starring the original cast, and I did enjoy quite a lot of them. This cast really captures what that cast was and elevates it to the next level, because these are such great new coming actors that, and recognizable actors as well, that it's really interesting how they embody the characters and make you forget that this is Carl Urban, this is Zoe Saldana, this is Chris Pine, and they actually become those characters. And some of them play it slightly different from the original actors too. It's like they elevate it a lot more, and that's what's great about these guys. And now I can't even think of anybody replacing these guys, but you know it's possible because these guys replaced the original guys. So it's kind of funny to think about that it's more of the character that's bigger than the actor kind of situation, and we just have to trust the cast that the producers and the directors pick, and because sometimes they can be perfectly cast. What's really interesting about this movie is, unlike the last 2 movies where they were kind of dealing with personal issues, this one actually sets them out on an adventure, kind of like the Star Trek series, all of them, I guess, in general, or at least Next Generation in the original series, where they would go out and explore new worlds, new civilizations, all that. This is what this movie is. They're finally doing that, their mission. And it gives it a different feel in a way than the last 2 films, which were directed by J.J. Abrams. Now, I'm going to admit that I did enjoy the J.J. Abrams, the last 2 movies, a little bit more, but I did really enjoy this one too. This is definitely not one of the worst Star Trek movies. This is one of the better ones. Maybe because it felt more like a Star Trek film. Maybe that's why, like, it felt more like, it doesn't feel nerdy. I don't want to turn people off who think, oh, you know, the old Trek films are for nerds. Like, no, the old Trek films, there's actually some really good ones, and I think it's unfair to say that, oh no, the old ones are only for Trekkies. I disagree with that. I'm not a hardcore Trekkie. I'm more of a Star Wars kind of guy. But I'll admit, there are some really good movies from the older films, and the J.J. Abrams one just put a different spin on it and made it a little bit more cooler. This one still has that, but it also has a little bit of the old stuff as well. So I feel like they were trying to blend the 2 together with this film, and it still is an enjoyable movie. There's still a lot of really nice jokes, sprinkled here and there throughout the film, specifically from Bones McCoy, played by Carl Urban. I thought he was really funny, and Simon Pegg, always funny. He's always great when it comes to comedic timing. This world that they land on, it's a really interesting world to inhabit, and we haven't had a movie like that where they explore different worlds. So I actually really enjoyed it, and the world looks fascinating to explore, except when they're in the woods, because you've seen movies where people are traveling in the woods before. But when they actually explore like the civilization areas, I think that's actually really cool. I like the way the sets were and all that, because if you felt it was something different. This used a lot of sets, which I really liked. Obviously, there's a lot of CGI there too, which is really good when it's useful, and I'm glad. I'm glad I really saw this film in theaters, because it is obviously a franchise that needs to be seen in theaters sometimes. I think on television it doesn't really bring that more larger scope that I think a Star Trek film should need, just like Star Wars or just like Guardians of the Galaxy. I will say that I really liked the villain in this movie, played by Idris Elba. I thought he was an interesting villain, especially his little twist at the end, which I won't spoil. He's definitely a really creepy villain too. I felt he was a little creepy, and I thought he played it really well. I really liked where the character went and the revelation at the end with him. We also have a new supporting character who's like all white, like very whitish, like Snow White. So not the character Snow White, I mean like white. Okay, anyways, you've seen her in the trailers, and she sort of forms a friendship with Simon Pegg's character, Scotty. And there's some really nice moments with her, and as you get to know her more, she actually becomes an interesting character, especially when you learn a little bit more about her as the movie goes on. She's badass. She actually kicks a lot of ass, which I really like. I like strong female women, man. Girl power. Okay, that was cheesy. I am going to recommend this movie to Trekkies and non-Trekkies alike. I think this is a good balance of both of them. I think there were a lot of great enjoyable moments. I like the story. I like how all the characters were separated for a very long while, and you got to see a little bit of each one, and each character was allowed to shine a little bit on their own, not just as a group. And obviously the movie focuses more on Kirk and Spock a little bit more than the others, but the others get some really good screen time as well. So it does feel like an ensemble cast, which is what the Star Trek movies should be. And it's an ensemble because it's a team, it's a group of people. And I felt that that balance was played with really well. So with all that being said, guys, I'm ending it here. I think you should all go support Star Trek Beyond in theaters. The movie is getting really good reviews. It's around 85%, I think, last time I checked. And that's a really good score, man. And I was expecting it to be good because Justin Lin, the director of Fast and the Furious 5 and 6, I think he directed 4 as well. Those are some of the best Fast and the Furious movies, and he did a Star Trek movie, which I didn't know if he could pull it off, because okay, Fast and the Furious is cool, but Star Trek is like a different type of movie, and he pulled it off, man. He shows, he's a capable director that he can pull off any genre, it looks like. So I'm looking forward to more films from him and what else he can do. I think maybe he should do a superhero movie one day. And this cast is great. Support them. And, Elton, this is his last movie. Rest in peace. He will be missed because he is such a great actor. And until next time, guys, like this video, subscribe to my channel, check me out on Twitter, Facebook, all that and my podcast, all of that will be in the description box below. And until next time, guys, take care.